My name is Alice Kammwamba, and I'm from Malawi. I'm a member of the CBD Women Caucus, and currently I'm serving as the Caucus representative for the Ad Hoc Scientific and Technical Advisory Group. So, in Malawi, I'm also coordinating the indigenous and local knowledge efforts in the Malawi National Ecosystem Assessment. And I'm involved in biodiversity policy processes that integrate gender and rights-based approaches. So, in brief, that's who I am. Thank you very much. I will give a brief of the Ad Hoc Scientific Technical Advisory Group. This is a technical group which has been tasked with shaping the global report on collective progress in implementing the Kunming Global Biodiversity Framework. So my role as the representative of Women Caucus, the CBD Women Caucus, I'm actually enhancing to ensure that gender consideration and the rights of women and also girls are meaningfully reflected in the structure of the KMGBF. And also enhancing that the content and also methodologies used in the review are actually made to raise concerns if gender issues are missing or in scientific and technological spaces. So just to ensure that there is integration of gender, women, girls, and youth. This ad hoc scientific technical group is actually working directly to inform the global report that would be reviewed at the SBSTTA-27 in Panama. So what is happening is that this report is the first big kind of checkpoint for reviewing implementation of the Kunming Global Biodiversity Framework. So what we do now is to look at how gender, equity, and rights are addressed, and how can we actually shape the narratives and the direction for future reviews and implementation of this framework. Thank you. So far, I would actually tell you about how this review is critical for Women Caucus. It is a chance to check if countries are working when it comes to gender responsive and biodiversity action. So we are talking about just talking, but there's need for action. So when we look at the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework, there's a target 23 that exists for a reason, not just there, but it exists for a reason. And yet, when we look at target 23, there are no proper indicators, or resourcing, or disaggregated data. Women, girls remain invisible in the biodiversity outcome. So the review can be a collective moment, or it can be a collective moment, which is a good thing, but it can also repeat the gaps of the past. But we are pushing for the former. We are pushing that this review should be a collective moment. So that's very critical for the CBD Women Caucus. Yes, I would start by saying, to be honest with you, gender integration is still patchy. But while gender is acknowledged conceptually, it is not yet mainstreamed in the indicators, the data systems, or maybe the technical guidance. So there is a risk that the gender dimension becomes maybe symbolic, but unless structural or practical integration happens across all the targets, not just the target 23, but across all the targets in the Kunming-Montreal global biodiversity. So I would say yes, it's being overlooked. For example, in target 1, which is talking about spatial planning, and the second target is talking about restoration. And target number 9 is also talking about sustainable use. Yeah, sustainable use. And we have the target talking about capacity building, which is target 20. So there is a minimal attention to gender disaggregated data or participation indicators. So we all know that women play a big role, a central role in restoration, in indigenous and local knowledge, and probably things to do with sustainable livelihood. Women play a big role. But we should know that without gender responsive indicators, their contributions and challenges are still invisible. You know, meaningful inclusion, it means going beyond participation. It's not just participation, it means you're going beyond participation. So it is about one, including gender-specific indicators in all the relevant targets of the KMGBF. 2, capturing women's knowledge systems and lived experiences from women. 3, it means ensuring that national reports collect and reports data that is gender disaggregated. And also, it also means centering voices of indigenous, rural, and local women in evidence and narratives, and also ensuring financing mechanisms respond to gender differentiated needs. So it's not about participation, but it means a lot. Through these meetings, I will highlight 2 main takeaways. One, it was a key discussion that was around methodology for the global report. And we raised that it must use a rights-based and gender-responsive lens. And particularly for indicators and narratives on participation, access, and benefit sharing. That's one takeaway key. Another takeaway key was the recognition that the technical processes needs to be more inclusive in how they draw from diverse knowledge systems, including gender and local knowledge. So those are the main key takeaways that came from these meetings. Yes, in the discussion, there was actually openness in the group to strengthen gender elements in the annotated outline that was developed of the global report. However, I must say that we need to go from openness to action. There is need for action, especially in how technical assistance will support countries to basically report meaningfully on the target 23 of the global, of the Kunming Global Biodiversity Framework. And also integrate gender into other targets of the whole framework. So we need guidance, notes, tools, and also political will to be able to have meaningful reports. Thank you. I'll probably give some concrete recommendations for the CBD Women Caucus that will help them to put forward in Panama. I would say we need to strengthen gender indicators across all the KMGBF targets, not just target 23. And also we need to provide technical support to countries to collect gender disaggregated data. Another recommendation that I'm going to make is to ensure that women's rights groups are part of reviewing and reporting processes of this global report. And I'll also add on resourcing women-led biodiversity initiative through Target 20, which is talking about capacity building. We really need to capitalize on that as well. And also integrating gender into the global reports, especially in methodology, evidence-based, and also conclusions. I would also, just as a wrap-up, I would want to say that this global review is more than a checklist. It is a test of our collective commitment to gender justice in biodiversity. And we need not to miss this opportunity. Let's use this opportunity to hold the system accountable and to co-create solutions that will reflect in the leadership, knowledge, and rights of women and rights of girls everywhere. Thank you.